warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Shaahibah. My last ID number is 153. So, today I'm going to present my 10 articles that I've been reading through this semester. So, these 10 articles actually share one big common thread. They all revolve around how students learn English more efficiently, whether it's through technology, teaching strategies, or understanding ourselves as learners. So, instead of going one by one randomly, I've grouped them into 3 themes to make it easier to follow. And the first theme is about technology in language learning. The second is about learner psychology and attitude. And the third is about teaching strategies for both young learners and university students. So let's get started. Okay, the first theme covers 4 articles that will discuss how technology can or cannot improve English learning. The first article is by Sima Mona and Octaviani 2020 under the title What is Your Favorite Movie? And this study looked at 27 English education students and found that watching English movie generally helps students build vocabulary through subtitles, visual scenes, and real-world context, and it works for me too. And in fact, almost of them participants agreed that movies help them learn English. That's very impressive, right? But here is the interesting part. 6.7% of students still didn't enjoy this method. The small number actually tells us something important. Not every student learns the same way, even with something as enjoyable as movies. So the takeaway here is movies are great tool, but teachers cannot rely on just one strategy for everyone. This connects perfectly to the second article by Gonzalez Laureate 2024 from the University of Hawaii. The article argues that technology alone doesn't guarantee effective learning. What actually matters is the pedagogical design behind it, how teachers plan and structure the use of technology. She also specifically highlights class-based language teaching, or as we know TBLT, as one effective approach because it focuses on real-world communication rather than just memorizing grammar rules. And she also pointed out that many online learners struggle during COVID weren't caused by the technology itself. They were caused by the poor instructional design. So, from movies to full-scale online platforms, the message is technology just a tool. The teacher's design is what makes it work. Now, speaking of tools, the third article by Guan 2018 discussed the advantages of multimedia assist English teaching. And Guan argues that multimedia like videos, pictures, audios transform abstract content into something more concrete and visual. It also creates a more student-centered classroom. What I found useful about this article is the practical classroom example. For instance, they using a short video before a reading activity. It can help students build background knowledge first, and that is like a small detail, right? But it turns to whole experience. The limitations of this article is mostly conceptual. There is no direct experimental data, so we don't have hard numbers on how much students actually improve. And then, there is a more specific technology tool discussed in the fourth article by Amalia 2020. Her title, Quizzes as an Online Formative Assessment Tool. This study found that students had strongly positive response to quiz with a total agreement score of 933 out of the maximum. They liked that the questions were randomized, which made cheating difficult, and that the competitive atmosphere kept them engaged. However, not everyone was equally excited. Some students didn't really feel like quizzes was a game, and the leaderboard didn't particularly motivate them. So, this actually reminds me of Article 1 and Article 3. Different students respond differently to the same tool. So, when we talk about technology and language learning, we cannot assume one platform fits all learners. Now, let's move to the second tab. Learner, psychology, and attitudes. Because even if teachers use the best technology, if the students don't have the right mindset or confidence, learning becomes really difficult. And these four articles explore exactly that. The fifth article is by Zulfikar Dahlian and Sari, exploring English students' attitudes toward learning English in an Indonesian EFL context. Through semi-structured interviews with 6 students of the university, the study found that most students have a positive attitude toward English. They see it as useful for careers and studying abroad. But here is the challenge. When classroom activities are boring and irrelevant, students lose motivation and become anxious. One strength of this study is that the interview data provides rich insights into students' real experience. But a limitation is that it only involves 6 participants from one university, so the findings cannot be generalized widely. This tells us attitude is not fixed. It shifts based on what happens in the classroom. So as a future teacher, we need to make sure our activities stay relevant and engaging, not just for grades, but for genuine motivation. And which brings us to the 6th article by Olazier and Ahmad 2020 on speaking anxiety in EFL students and EFL classroom. This study was done at university in Iraq with 115 students using both questionnaires and interviews. The findings showed the most students experience moderate to high level of speaking anxiety caused by limited vocabulary, poor pronunciation, and fear of being judged by peers, and lack of preparation too. The connection with the previous article is strong here. Negative attitude toward English often lead to speaking anxiety. And anxiety, in return, makes students avoid speaking, which slows down their fluency, and it becomes a cycle. The article recommends that teachers create a supportive atmosphere and give constructive feedback rather than immediately correcting every mistake in front of the class. Now, how do students break the cycle? The answer might be in the 7th article by Su Jiang, Liang, and Sai 2018, which looks at online self-regulation and self-efficiency among EFL students in China. This quantitative study with 424 students found that self-evaluation is the strongest predictor of students' confidence in listening, speaking, and reading. In simple terms, students who regularly reflect on their own learning become more confident over time. And this is such a practical finding, especially for Indonesian students who often study online but don't necessarily have a quiet, structured environment at home. If we can help students build a habit of self-reflection, asking themselves first like, what did I learn today? What can I do better? Their confidence will naturally grow. And this finding also complements the previous article on speaking anxiety. Students who regularly evaluate their own progress may develop greater confidence, which can help reduce anxiety when speaking English. Okay, next, the 8th article by Arya Stuti and Wahyudin 2022 examines the relationship between learning styles, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and the academic performance among English education undergrads. Interestingly, while most students prefer visual learning, like 49% of the students who show better academic performance were actually the kinesthetic learners. And this challenged the common assumption that we should just teach the way most students prefer. Sometimes the less popular method turns out to be more effective. So teachers shouldn't rely on what students like, they need to consider too what works. And finally, the third tank is about teaching strategies, which kind of brings everything together. The ninth article by Niami 2025 brings us back to technology, but this time specifically for speaking fluency. The study compared biologic podcast to a conversation with monologic podcast, one person speaking. And the finding was clear. Dialogic podcasts are more effective because they model real conversation patterns, natural turn-taking, authentic rhythm, and interactive language. The article also recommends pairing podcasts with effectives like shadowing, role plays, and discussion tags to maximize the benefit. And this is super applicable as future teachers. We can actually use free YouTube content as a legitimate flexible teaching research for speaking. However, unlike face-to-face communication podcasts do not provide immediate feedback, which means students may still need teacher to guidance and interactive classroom activities. And our last article by Glendarit, Ratmaningsih and Ramendra 2020 zooms into primary school, specifically the strategies used to teach English for young learners. Through classroom observation as primary school Sutadharma, the study found that teachers use strategies like listen and repeat, question and answer, cooperative learning, and alphabet card games. But the study also revealed a problem. Some activities were still monotone and not fully student-centered. Young learners get bored quickly. They have short attention spans and they learn best through play. So this article basically reminds us that even the best strategy can lose its power if it becomes repetitive and predictable. So looking across all 10 articles, I finally noticed 3 recurring themes. First, technology can support English learning through movies, multimedia tools, voice, and podcasts. Second, learner factors such as attitude, learning, self-regulation, and speaking anxiety strongly influence student success. Finally, teachers remain central because they design learning experience and create supportive learning environments. Therefore, effective English learning happens when technology, learning characteristics, and teaching strategies work together. No single method works for every learner, actually, which is why flexibility, thoughtful teaching are essential. The key is always the same. Know your students, stay flexible, and never stop learning yourself. So, I think that's all for me. I hope this presentation is useful and informative. See you!